In 2019, Lady Bird Lake experienced a harmful algae bloom, which was discovered to be the cause of several dogs' deaths. Since that time, algae blooms have reappeared in Austin as temperatures spike.
The conditions that really allow the cyanobacteria to thrive are super high temperatures, which are just very prolific in Texas, drought conditions, and so those particular conditions tend to create a really nice environment for cyanobacteria to thrive.
According to the City of Austin, the Watershed Department routinely monitors algae progress. The Daily Texan went with environmental scientist Dr. Brent Bellinger on one of his monitoring trips. Dr. Bellinger regularly monitors 3 sites on Lake Austin and Lady Bird Lake. He surveys the site and collects cyanobacteria mats as well as water samples.
And the mats that I'm looking for are kind of these slimy green ones. Distinctive color to them, distinctive feel. So these are the samples that I'll collect, and this will go then to University of Texas. I'll also take water samples, and the water and the algae get analyzed separately for the presence of toxins. So after I have my algae, my water, I'll also take surface water samples, because this is obviously where the algae are growing. So I'll take samples to the Lower Colorado River Authority's Environmental Services Lab, and they'll analyze for a suite of nutrients. And then I can start to look at relationships between the presence of the algae, presence of toxins, and specific water quality conditions. The next thing, I have these data loggers that are out at each site. This one happens to be underneath that very stabby tree so that people don't mess with it. And what these do is that it records temperature and pH, and I can dictate what recording kind of frequency and interval I set up. So these take measurements every hour on the hour. I can look at these really beautiful patterns in temperature and pH, and that's it. All the samples get put into a cooler on ice, and then I'd go to my next site.
The City of Austin has decided to use a Foslock treatment in an attempt to treat the algae. According to the city's website, Foslock lowers nutrient levels in the lake and essentially robs the algae of one of its primary food sources, slowing down its spread.
I love going paddleboarding on the lake, especially by Redbud Isle, which I know is like a huge concern for algae bloom for dogs and such. And I mean, I watch a bunch of animals, and I kind of am just concerned about that in a sense.
Especially for dogs, they get the algae in their fur, and just in the process of grooming themselves, they could ingest it later on. And so that would be that exposure route. We recommend, whether it's Lady Bird Lake, Lake Austin, or any of our creeks, we want people to get out and enjoy these water bodies. We recommend always looking for flowing conditions where you don't have excessive growth of algae, of scum. Try to avoid those areas. If you or your pets are getting into the water, you're wading into the water. Otherwise, always towel off and rinse off afterwards. There's always risks again out here, but if you're paying attention to where you are, what's around you,